Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about a huge shift in artificial intelligence. We're moving beyond simple tools that just answer our questions to intelligent systems that can actually act on our behalf. These are what we call AI agents. So let's start with this big idea right here. What if you could actually hire an AI? And I don't just mean as some kind of research assistant. I'm talking about a project manager, an autonomous colleague that can tackle entire projects and chase down goals all by itself. That's the really powerful concept we're digging into today.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to define what an AI agent even is, see why it's so much more than a chatbot, and figure out why businesses are so excited about them. Then we'll peek at the toolkit builders are using, and finally, we'll see how you can hire one for your own team. All right, first things first, what exactly is an AI agent? To get a really clear picture, let's just look at how the companies that are actually building this tech are describing it.
You know, the magic phrase right here is act autonomously. Think about it like this. You're not giving it a step-by-step to-do list. You're just telling it what you want to achieve at the end. The agent is the one that has to figure out the how completely on its own. And just look at the capabilities listed here. See a pattern? Every single one is an action word. Automate, enhance, handle, pursue. This isn't about passively finding information anymore. It's about actively getting things done. And that, right there, is the fundamental shift.
Okay, so if they pursue goals, how are they any different from the chatbots we all use every day? Well, the distinction is way bigger than you might think.
This slide just nails the difference, doesn't it? A chatbot is reactive. It just sits there, it waits for your question, and it follows a script. But an AI agent, it's proactive. You give it a big, complex goal, and it independently starts using tools, reasoning through problems, and managing the entire workflow to get there. So, this brings us to the big why. Why is there such a huge demand for these agents right now? What's the real value proposition that's driving all of this investment? Well, here's the bottom line. According to the developers building these systems, the promise is a massive, massive boost in how well things run. We're talking up to 40%. A number like that is definitely going to get any business leader's attention. And just look at the scope here. This isn't just for tech companies. We're seeing agents being built for pretty much every major part of the economy, from retail and finance to manufacturing and healthcare. And to make this really concrete, these are real-world applications. For instance, in finance, an agent could be doing Know Your Customer checks to verify identities and autonomously watch for fraud. Or in healthcare, it could be the one handling patient triage and scheduling, which frees up the human staff for more critical, hands-on tasks. So how are these powerful agents actually being put together? Let's take a quick look under the hood at the specific tools, frameworks, and models that developers are using to bring them to life. This table really shows the core recipe. So developers start with a powerful large language model, something like a Gemini, to act as the brain. Then they add a framework like LangChain on top of it. That framework acts like the scaffolding, giving the brain the ability to actually plan, to use other software tools, and to execute a whole series of tasks. So finally, given how complex these are, how do companies actually integrate these AI agents into their day-to-day operations? Well, the process is surprisingly similar to bringing a new human employee on board. As you can see, the whole thing really does mirror hiring a person. A business first defines the job. Then they interview developers to make sure the tech is aligned. They onboard the solution, and then they launch the agent. It's a very structured way to make sure the AI is perfectly built for the task at hand. And there are flexible ways to do this too. A company might engage developers for just one specific project, or they could hire them as a dedicated full-time resource. They can even augment their existing tech team with AI agent specialists to fill in any skill gaps. And that brings us to our final question, and this one's for you. Now that you know what's possible, just think about your own work or your own daily life. If you had an autonomous AI agent ready to go, what would be the very first complex task you'd hand over to it?